Namo Namaste Gurave Mahatmane Vimukta Sangaya Saduttamaya Nityadvayanandarasasvarupine Bhumni Sada Pardayam Budhamni Namaste Namaste Vibho Vishwamurte Namaste Namaste Chidanandamurte Namaste Namaste Tapoyogagamya Namaste Namaste Shrutijnanagamya Swarajya Samrajya Vibhutiresha Bhavat Kripa Shri Mahima Prasadat Prapta Maya Shri Gurave Mahatmane Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namastasmai Sadaikasmai Kasmai Chinmahase Namaha Yadetat Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajate Yadetat Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajate. We'll start with the Shanti Mantra. Sahana Bhavatu. Om Sahana Bhavatu.
Om Sahana Bhavatu.
Sahanau Bhunaktu.
Sahanau Bhunaktu.
Sahaviryam Karavavahai.
Sahaviryam Karavavahai.
Tejasvinavadhitamastu.
Tejasvinavadhitamastu.
Ma vidvishavahai.
Ma vidvishavahai.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
So some of the points we discussed yesterday. One is, what is spirituality? What is Adhyatma Vidya? I said it is Swabhava. Swabhava means any revelation, prakasha, anything that is expressing. Swabhava, I said there are two kinds of bhava of the Swa. Swa means our real identity, which we call Atma, which we call Brahman. That is our inmost reality. Now we all have an idea about the Atma, body limited Atma going from here to there, moving around. It is not so in spirituality. I did not say anything like that because we have been discussing about it in an elaborate manner, but we will come back to it again. Atma means our real identity, as I explained yesterday with the light falling on the mirrors and all. What we generally in religion, we believe the Atma which is undergoing the Punarjanma and moving from here to there, that is, we are thinking of the reflected light, which is individual dependent, segregated from each other. Whereas the real Atma is it is transcendental. Even calling it one is not true, because 1, 2 division comes in the objective plane. It is transcending the subject-object division also. So it is called Advaya knowledge, or the non-dual truth, non-dual knowledge. That is the real Atma. So when we say Atma in spirituality, we refer to this Atma, which is not body-mind limited, personality limited. And the whole purpose of spirituality is to identify with that transcendental Atma. We say that the whole purpose of spirituality is move from Dehatma Bodha to Brahmatmaikatva Bodha. Dehatma Bodha means, Deha means the body. That is our body-mind personality. So normally we have the idea of the I limited to the body-mind personality, that is fragmented. For each it is different. Whereas there we start from. This is where we start in spirituality. And we reach where the last point of spirituality is Deha, Atma, Brahma, Atma, Ekatva, Bodha. Brahmatma Ekatva, Bodha. Brahman means the universal truth, the absolute truth on which the whole universe is appearing to be. We call it consciousness, but it is not in the objective field. It is only in the subjective field. Brahma, Atma, Ekatva Bodha. That we understand that we have been, although referring to the I throughout our life, but it is not referring to something body-mind limited, but the real I is universal. It is transcending all the fragmentation. We say transcending all the Bheda Buddhi. That means differential notions. It is transcendental. So this is the fundamental goal of spirituality. Keeping that in our mind, we progress. Now, if we say that the initial position where we start from is a small constricted idea of our identity, body-mind limited, so it is small. Whereas we want to reach where it is even surpassing the infinitude in a way. Because when we say infinite, we think again in the objective field, something is infinity. But here it is not in the objective field. It is object plus subject together we are transcending, where from the subject-object division is coming. So we cannot think of any further expansion then. Now in any expansion, if this is the reality, we have to reach from the constricted notion of our I to that universal notion of our I, then what is the process? In very simple term, you tell me. How can a thing become small to infinite? Expansion. So the basic process is one of expansion. So the whole spiritual life is a process of expansion. Moving from individual, limited, fragmented identity to an unlimited, transcendental identity. Now, if that is true, that our goal is to, our path is a path of expansion, then can we not always judge on the basis of this thumb rule that am I going on the right path or not? Suppose you are on a dilemma that there are two paths open before me. Am I to take the path A or path B? What is the spiritual process? If I am a seeker, how do I determine that as a seeker, should I take A or should I take B? How do we determine? We look within, because the whole spirituality is to do with our within, not with the outside anything. The expansion we are talking of is within. So we have to look within and decide think about it, that by taking path A, am I feel expansion, or taking path B, am I feeling expansion? Now, along with this expansion, certain other feelings also will come in. That is a feeling of, whenever we are expanded, a feeling of strength, inner strength, a feeling of lightness, all these will be accompanying with expansion. Whereas with the contraction or constriction or a limited small feeling, a feeling of heaviness, a feeling of fear might be there, all these things which comes from the smallness of the mind. So that will be our principle of determining, am I walking the right path or not. Now suppose somebody is doing lot of puja, he spends 8 hours in puja every day. He has to really, this is what is called vichara. He has to do the, vichara means he has to think that I have been doing this puja for last 40 years. By doing this, what has happened to me? Has anything happened? Next question is, has my mind expanded or become even more constricted? Previously I was not getting affected by anything, now not so much affected, now I am getting more affected or less affected. So these tests we have to do on ourselves. Suppose by doing puja we are becoming more and more small, constricted, segregated from others, more fearful, more desireful, then stop the puja. Why do such a puja? If by going to an ashram, renouncing your life, other worldly life, joining an ashram, if you have become more quarrelsome, more constricted in your mind, more blameful about others, if this is the change of the mind, either you change that or better leave. Don't continue in the ashram. So anything we do, whether it is a puja, going to the temple, going to a guru or anything, we have to apply the test on us, looking within, that what is happening to my mind. This is called vichara. That whatever is leading to the right path, that is, I am feeling an expansion, a courage, a strength within, an all-embracing love within, which all of you know, anybody can find out that. If it is so, then we will walk that path. If it is not, we have to take some other path which will result in that. Now, this is what spirituality and spiritual sadhana is in a nutshell. This is a fundamental principle. Now, as far as the swa is concerned, I said that the first expression of swa is our real identity, which we discover going within, and it is generally called the samadhi. That is in going within when there is no world. When I say no world, it means that there is no body-mind personality also. You should not feel that I am there and I am seeing the world has vanished. That's a wrong way. If I am there, then where is the world vanished? I am still there. I am part of the world. I am a product of nature. So when the world vanishes, there is no world, means that body-mind personality is also not there. When the mirror is looking at the light above, as yesterday we discussed, then the reflected light has gone. It has merged with the real, with the original light. So the mirror will not think of the mirror also. Any illustration will be limited. We are trying to expand it to match the reality. It won't be. To some extent we will get the guidance. So there we get merged in the Brahman or the ultimate truth, consciousness, Atma, Paramatma, whatever you say. So that is the swa. I clearly explained yesterday that it cannot be different for different people, because the personality itself is not there. How can it be different for different people? The ultimate Nirvikalpa Samadhi we are talking about, it has to be the same, because there is no personality coordinate there. Now, the other swa is as this real identity is expressing, whenever it is interacting with the world, expressing in the world, it is expressing through the body-mind personality. So it will take the characteristics, all the characteristics of the body-mind personality through which it is expanding. That is why we find that all saints are absolutely different. Some are sitting in the cave and continuing what to do. Some are very active in the world. Some are ruling the kingdom like Raja Janaka and all. So everywhere, depending on his heritage and all that, his personality and whatever he has done, some will be teaching, some will be meditating. It will be different for different people. But then when do we say that the Swa is expressed? I said yesterday that always the two forces are working. One is making us slave to the world, another is anchored. We are getting anchored in this real identity. So the Swa will be expressed properly in pristine form only when we have eliminated these downward forces, that slavery forces, the worldly forces. That means basically desire, as we say. That means when will you work in tune with your real identity? When you are desireless. That is why in any spiritual pursuit, desirelessness is the ultimate goal. Becoming free of desires. So that you work like an instrument of God, you can say, nature, you can say, whatever you like, you can say. But the whole nature, as our body, mind, personality is a product of nature, the nature has its own way of functioning through it. So the desire is not a motivation really necessary for us to work, because everybody is capable of doing something or other. So when the desires are taken away, I will come back to it again and again. So when the desires are eliminated, then we will become free and natural, and I would like to say sane. Otherwise all of us are insane. Insane. In Shvetashvatara, it is very much said, because look at the whole nature. The earth is going around the sun is moving in the galaxy, the galaxies are getting born, the galaxies are dying. We cannot imagine even the minutest part of this tremendous energy working in the whole universe. Everything is happening, and in a smaller scale, the plants are growing, the flowers are blossoming. Some are big red flowers, some are small white flowers, grass flowers. Some are fragrant, some are not. Some might be bad also. The animals are playing. The whole universe. Is there any desire anywhere? Desire is only polluting our human mind. The whole universe is working. It is a desireless. If they had desires, then the earth would have got tired long back. It will say that I am running for nothing for so many millions of years. I have got tired of it. Let me rest for half a minute. What will happen? If the earth stops moving for half a minute, what will happen? It goes on and on without any, just by the natural forces. Like that, Noah also works perhaps much more than the other people, maybe 10 times the other people, because he is working without desire. Swamiji may say that for 65 years I have been propagating this Brahma Vidya, not a single disciple I have who has realized. So let me stop speaking. Why should I speak? If he was speaking because of some desire that I will become a great guru or I will have lot of disciples or so, you should think about all these things. This is what is called vichara, through manana. If he had been thinking like that, then he would have stopped speaking at least 50 years ago. More than 10 years you cannot survive by doing something where you look for a result and the result is not there. So the whole secret lies in natural working, desireless working. That makes us most efficient, the performance become magnificent and excellent, as Yoga Vasishtha says. In Shvetashvatara there is a verse, Na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate na tat samascha abhyadhikascha drishyate parasyar shaktir vividhaiva shuyate svabhaviki jnana balak kriyaja. He says, Natasya karya, about the truth he is speaking, about the Brahman, the truth, the ultimate consciousness. Natasya karyam, he has no duty at all. Karyam means duty which has to be done. It has no duty that I have to produce a world and there the human being should become self-realized, nothing like that. He doesn't worry about who is happy or unhappy. It is a part of the natural display. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. He doesn't have the instruments of work also. Even if he wants to work, he has to create a being who will have hands and feet and brain and all that. He doesn't have even brain. Nothing. Consciousness doesn't have anything. Karanam cha vidyate. Natat samaha cha abhyadhidakascha drishyate. And there is nothing parallel to him. This ultimate truth, the Atma, the Brahman, the consciousness, there is nothing you can compare. Because it is beyond all subject-object division. It is not in an object that this clock you compare with that clock and all. It's not like that. So, there is nothing comparable to it and nothing surpassing it also. We cannot think of anything surpassing it also. It surpasses, it transcends everything. Asya parashaktir vividhaiva shruyate. But it has got a supreme power, parashaktihi, a supreme power, by which it is becoming many, functioning as many, which we are seeing in the world. The galaxies are getting born, they are getting into the black hole, becoming this, that, and the unimaginable energy. But all these are, we are not able to understand that our real identity, the Atma in us, the consciousness in us, the whole display of energy is taking place in that. Because we are not able to know, we are thinking we are small. Because our identity is attached to that body, mind, personality, which is a minute speck in the whole nature. But actually the whole nature's display is taking place on this Brahman, Atma, consciousness, whatever you say. Asya parashaktir vividhaiva shruyate. Swabhaviki jnana balakriyacha. These are very important. Swabhaviki. See, we have come from the discussion of swabhava. That means its inherent essence. That whatever is happening, it is his swabhava. But what kind of swabhava? Swabhaviki jnana balakriya. This is very important. Jnana means, I said that the jnana in Vedanta is not just a knowledge we take from externally. It's not just a theoretical knowledge. It means our real identity, the Advaya consciousness. So, this jnana has got its energy aspect also, bala, the active aspect. The whole universe is created out of this jnana. In Mundakopanishad, it says that Yasya jnanamayam tapaha tapasa chiyate brahma tatonnam avijayate yas sarvavit yas sarvajnah sarvavit yasya jnanamayam tapaha. That is, they are saying that the whole universe is appearing, as I said yesterday also, it's just an appearance. That appearance is coming out of the tapas of the Brahman. Now what kind of a tapas he will do? Can he stand on one leg or can he fast? He does not have anything. Nothing is there. But it is an austerity in the knowledge itself. That means in the consciousness this is happening. So it is a tapas that without the tapas no change will take place. It is called tapas because in the jnana there is a vibration, there is a movement out of which the whole universe starts playing or goes on playing. So jnana balakriyacha. So this whole jugglery of the universe, of the creation, is taking place out of the forces which are residing in the knowledge, which are an expression of the knowledge. Kriya. This Kriya, generally in our Shastras you will find they differentiate between karma and Kriya. Karma means where there is causality. Try to understand very well. These are very important. I can repeat also later on again. Karma means that actually the whole karma theory you must be hearing. People say that it is my karma, etc. This karma actually means the cause and effect chain, the causality. The law of causality is called karma. So when we say something happened and we say it is my karma, we actually express it in just the reverse manner than what the Shastras want. Shastras want us to be responsible for anything happening in our life. Because it is a causality chain which is coming. Suppose something has happened in your life, it has its causal chain. But we want to escape from that sense of responsibility. So we use the same word karma, saying that as if it is fate. Karma is not fate. Karma means causality. It is under the causal chain. So the Shastras actually want to make you responsible for whatever is happening, not to get excused. But we use it in a different manner. Now, what I was saying? Karma means causality. So it is always by karma, the activities we mean, they are desire motivated activity. That is, there is a cause behind that. I wanted to do it, I took it up, I did it. So it is a desire motivated activity. That only we call karma. When it is the natural activity, just like as I said now, of the universe, then it is not desire motivated, it is a natural activity. Then we don't call it karma, we call it kriya. So the two are different, although they are often used in the same manner also, but mostly it will be used in different sense. Kriya and karma are different. Karma is desire motivated activity and kriya is natural activity which takes place for a knower. The knower does not have any more desire, but he is much more active than others. It is all kriya for him. That whatever the universe wants him to do, whatever nature wants him to do, whatever God or Brahman wants him to do, whatever comes in his life, he goes on doing that. Are you able to understand something? So, Swabhaviki Jnana Bala Kriyacha. So when we become natural, that Swabhava comes, whatever we do, it is guided by the ultimate truth, the consciousness, and by the force of that, we go on doing. So all our activities also become Swabhaviki Jnana Bala Kriya, just like the blossoming of a flower. Our flowers are not blossoming fully. Why? Because of the insect of desire. Suppose a rose, you find one petal has got crippled like this. Look for it, you will find some insect or fungus is attacking it. The petal has got crippled. Like this, all of our petals are crippled by all kinds of desires. We are not blossoming like flower. So if we can remove the desires from our mind, from our emotions, then we will fully blossom like the flower. After blossoming, each flower is different. Some are very small, tiny, colorless, or say white. Some are big, red. Some are fragrant, some are not. It depends on the genus of that particular flower has got certain qualities. With that it is blossoming. Another flower has got another quality. With that it is blossoming. There is no difference. Both have blossomed fully. Like that, we human beings also with our natural qualities, natural characteristics will blossom fully if we are able to eliminate the desire. It is human beings' problem that we like the red rose and do not like the grass flower. Is another part of the desire playing. We like, oh, how big is the rose? Bright red. How beautiful is the fragrance. What is wrong with the grass flower? It is equally beautiful. It is our partial way of thinking, preference and all that we are preferring, that we will put on our head and the other we will stamp over. Is it not? It is our partial behavior. So the swabhava, in its second level, is that when we eliminate the desire and we work naturally, then we are expressing the swabhava. This is the other expression of the swa. One expression, there is no expression, it is nirguna brahma, that you know that this is my identity. Another is that identity when it is expressing through the body-mind personality with its natural characteristics, not guided by any desire, greed or other motivations, then it becomes the expression of the swa. With this idea you will be able to understand the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where they have done the varna vibhaga. That is, the 4 varna they have divided. That is only a model. There can be 15 or 1500 varnas also. It's a gross model, it's a general model. With respect to that, it is based on the 3 gunas, that sattva, rajas, tamas. By permutation combination we get 4. So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, this is meant. And each has got its own characteristics. It depends on what are the characteristics of a person. According to that he will do his work. He will do, and in all the Swakarmana Siddhim, that 18th chapter they have said, that how by performing our own designated work we attain the same Siddhi, the same goal. That is discussed in 18th chapter towards the end. So this is the meaning, that when we remove the desire, cleanse our mind like that, then we become natural, we start working in harmony, in tune with the infinite, in tune with nature, in tune with God. We can say that we are doing whatever God wants me to do. Not as an excuse, saying whatever I want to do, I am doing, and saying that God wants me to do. That is another deception we suffer from. In Kharagpur, I often tell this story, most of you have heard. In Kharagpur, in every morning we used to go for a Upanishadic class. One sannyasin was there, Swami Nirviseshananda came from Rishikesh, so we were attending his classes, Upanishadic basically. And after that we will come to I will take breakfast and go to the institute. IIT had his own market, small market, so that is the meeting place of all, where people will come for marketing and have all the chit chat and on everything. So one day a person asked me that, where are you going every day? And little senior professor. I said that there is a class like this. We go and attend every day. Why don't you come? I asked him that, why don't you come? It's a very good class. And generally we don't get, in IIT we are getting this facility of having a spiritual class. Why don't you come? We attend the class, come back, take breakfast and go to the institute without delay also. He kept quiet for a long time. Then he said that, the Bengalis will always quote Ramakrishna Dev. For all escapism, all deception, they quote Ramakrishna Dev. He is available for everybody. He said, you don't know what Thakur said. Thakur means, they refer to Thakur as Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna Dev as Thakur. What Thakur said? Thakur bolechen, je তাঁর ইচ্ছা না হলে গাছের পাতাটিও নড়বে না. If the God doesn't will, even the one leaf of a tree also will not move. Everything is happening by God's will. So if God doesn't will, how can I go for the class? So I said, for coming to the market, gossiping, buying materials from the market, bringing them home, cooking them, eating them, overeating and having stomach problem, for all these things God doesn't have to will. Only for going to the class God has to will. So he ran away very soon. So this is how we deceive ourselves by saying that I am only doing as the God wills. So there is lot of scope for deception, lot of scope for correction also. It depends on us whether we are true to ourselves or not and how we are progressing. What I was saying? How our activities become not desire motivated.
So whatever we are doing, activities in ashram is called kriya.
It should be, provided you are not doing with some desire motivated. Oh, Swamiji did not appreciate. I did so many things, but Swamiji did not appreciate. Swamiji likes her more. She does all the nonsense, even then Swamiji appreciates her. All these are coming from, these are not kriya, if it is like that.
The challenge is that in the world we live in, we are always told to have goal, and it is all desire and reward, etc. And that is why in corporate life we live in. So that modern education is fully driven by.
It is based on a misunderstanding. We are all the more saying that you should have a goal and you should be absolutely fixed to the goal. Suppose we are making this, many things in the ashram and other. Suppose we are making a house for a person. Will we not consult a proper architect, proper structural engineer and see which steel will be better and how it should be made? The house we are making should become a livable house. It should not become a latrine. It may have a latrine, but it should not be, the whole house is not like that. So in all these things, what are we doing? We are completely devoting to what we are doing. Is it not so? So it is not because of desire. Without any goal, nobody will do anything. Shankaracharya says, prayojanam anuddishya mandopina pravartate. Even a dull person, dance, will not do anything unless there is a lakshya, there is an aim for doing something. So every objective, anything done in the objective field will have its goal. You have come here. Suppose you wanted to come because of a certain goal, you wanted to attend the retreat. Suppose you are not focused on that, your ticket would have been going to Himalayas or somewhere else and you have ended up in another. Is it possible to do anything without goal? It has to be done with a goal. What the Bhagavad Gita or spirituality says is that there are two kinds of results in anything. Suppose you are opening a factory. You want to produce solar cells. Now, this is the objective goal of the process. You have to produce solar cells which will be, there will be demand in the world for it. Suppose it will take 5 years or 3 years to have the product out. By that time, will this kind of solar cell be in vogue or my all effort will go waste? That you have to analyze, you have to project, you have to consult all experts necessary to have a proper product which will be useful for the people and useful for the society. This part is the objective result that you are looking for. But there is another result that more than the product, your mind is, after selling the solar cell, I will become one of the millionaires or billionaires, and with that I will have my family settled in some heavenly palace, and with that my son will be studying in the best university in the world, and by then I will become happy. This last result is the most. Doing this, I will become happy. Has anybody become happy by getting anything from the world? Why don't you do that vichara? The richest person is in the world, were they happy? No, you are saying I don't know. You can easily know. Why don't you look around? In Reader's Digest in 1970s, a report had come. Those days, not the present day, there are many, many billionaires. Those days they had put 17 world richest people and what kind of a life they had and how their life ended. It's worth reading. We can go back to Reader's Digest and see, find out. It is in 70s. And in most of the cases, either they committed suicide or they got jailed and punished, lavished in the, remain in the jail till the end, or they have died like Rockefeller. They had died in their own strong room, got locked in their own strong room and died there. The end is pathetic for all. Will you call them the happy? And most of them got mad also. They lost their mental balance. Ambition is always to be avoided. When desire is too much and abnormal, we call it ambition. Even a normal person should not have ambition. He should set right the goal according to his or her capabilities. Ambition means always it is out of the capabilities. Let me complete, I will come back again, I will lose my track there. So, what I said, that one is the objective goal of a project, of our action, another is the subjective goal of what we are doing. The subjective goal is getting something, some gain from the world, material gain, which will make us happy. So naturally, one vichara or introspection we have to do, that has anybody in the world become happy, either by having money or manpower like political people, or fame like so many famous people. If anybody has become fulfilled by these three, you go into the detail, you won't find anybody. And we are interacting with many big people also in a way that socially big. We know their internal state, their family state and all. It's very pathetic. The remaining poor is much better than that. They are much happier. The happiness quotient does not depend on any of this. Even if you become a billionaire, you will be afraid of another billionaire overtaking you. Even if you are famous, you are afraid of some other person in the same line becoming more famous. Bhartrihari has written many things about it. Tomorrow I will see about it. So, what Bhagavad Gita or spirituality says is that you should not have any such internal, clinging to the internal goal based on a misunderstanding that I will become happy. Nothing from the world can ever make us fulfilled. Temporary happiness we can have, but we can never become fulfilled by that. The thing we get, after getting we will be afraid of losing it. If it's a big gain, we will be afraid of losing it. And I always say the example which is true of all of us, that you want to make a building. Nowadays everybody has their own. Previously making a building was a great in a family. You want to make your building. Finally one day your swapna, the dream building comes in and you enter. And after entering, the next day or the same day, very same day, you find your wife is saying, why did you put the window here? The kitchen window should have been there. Am I going to die out of the gas, the oven flame coming to me? I feel hot here. Or they will say that window should have been bigger. And the next day you will find that the shower is not functioning or the tap is not functioning. So far I was staying in a rented house. I used to call the landlord and ask him to set it right. They would come and set it right. Now I have to run after a plumber and an electrician, and they will not behave all right. So the life becomes much more troublesome. Previously it was only I had to handle the landlord. Now I have to handle so many people doing so many aspects of our day. So the desire for the house, the moment you got it, you felt fulfilled, that the desire has been fulfilled. But immediately after that, another desire or another fear will take over your mind. So here spirituality has got a great observation, which is again introspection, manana. What is that? Do the desires make us the fulfillment of the desires make us happy, or elimination of the desires make us happy? You think well about it, that you have a desire. When the desire is fulfilled, you become happy. About that there is no doubt. The fulfillment of the desire has made you temporary or whatever, you made it happy. But if you look for the cause, you will find that when the desire is fulfilled, the desire is no more there. It has got eliminated automatically, it has been filled. So it is the elimination of the desire which takes your mind to a more placid state, and you feel the joy of it. Now, as long as the desires were there, the desires were agitating you, stressing your mind. Whenever desires are in your mind, it's a stress. Desire means corresponding fear, anxiety, everything will be there. They are all creating a stress in the mind which is not allowing you to become natural, easy and placid. So, the fulfillment of the desire is giving you happiness temporarily, as long as another desire does not come and catch hold of your mind, or another fear or anxiety has not taken hold of your mind. Do you agree to that? Think well. So it is really the elimination of the desire that makes us happy. So why don't you eliminate the desires right in the beginning? Not absolutely possible, provided you understand. That is what we are trying to say. That is where the introspection is necessary. Now you have got only, I have said you have accepted, or maybe earlier somebody said you have accepted. It is not that. You have to think that, has richness made anybody happy? You have to think it in a wholesome manner till you become certain that no, I will not run after riches. I will see what makes us happy. And there, what does spirituality give the solution? The happiness does not come from outside. Happiness is the self-property of our identity, real identity of our soul. It is always coming up. It is welling forth from within. We are not able to feel it because our mind is cluttered with all kinds of agitation, desire, fear, and anxiety and whatnot. In an agitated mind, you cannot see what is lying as a nidhi, as a secret treasure within us. In a pond, as long as the pond is clear, may be clear, but as long as there are ripples, you will not be able to see the bottom. When it becomes settled, you see. If the water is not clear, when the ripples are not there, you will see the bottom but not clear. Suppose it's a muddy water, a little turbid water, you will be able to see but not a clear vision. Like that, if the mind is not agitated but it is not attained a purity, you will not be able to enjoy the joy of the soul fully. So as the mind becomes purer and more settled, when the mind is peaceful, we get the joy. So actually, as long as the desires are agitating our mind, we are not able to become happy. If they are eliminated, then we will not work, this is a very important statement, we will not work for gaining something by getting something, by gaining which I will become happy. But you will work out of happiness, out of joy. Because the mind will always be joyful and peaceful. And out of that joy, very many other things will, as it is said, the whole Prakriti, the whole nature, the creation, it is born out of Ananda. This joy is different from the usual Sukha we say. Born out of Ananda. Anandadhyeva khalvimani bhutani jayante anandena jatani jivanti anandam pravishanti avisham vishanti. This is Taittiriya Upanishad. He says, Anandat hi eva. That means not anywhere else, only from Ananda. Anandat eva means Anandat hi eva. Two confirmations. Only from Ananda alone. Anandat hi eva. Khalvimani, khalu imani bhutani jayante. All that is born, it is out of Ananda. Ananda of what? Of the Brahman. Ananda is a self-property of the consciousness. Anandena jatani jivanti. It is all sustained by Ananda. Anandam pravishanti, avisamvishanti. They finally die and get mixed, merged in this Ananda. We are afraid of death. The whole life you haven't got Ananda. At least after death you will have Ananda. You will not know. But you will get merged in the Ananda. So why are we afraid of death? You should happily die like the fireflies. They come to die. Seeing light, they come to die. And in the next morning you found hundreds of them. Our kittens are eating them. In the baranda, all the kittens will come flocking to eat them. So like that, seeing this light, I am saying it just like that. That at least we could not get Ananda in the life, so at least in death, we should embrace death to get the Ananda. Anandadhyeva khalvimani bhutani jayante anandena jatani jivanti anandam pravishanti avisamvishanti. So, the joy, the real joy is a natural parameter, natural coordinate of our real identity soul. And we are hindering it by all our desires, agitations and whatnot. If we can eliminate them, there are so many kinds of analysis you can do, introspection you can do, which will allow you, but you have to take it to the ultimate level. Not just as a intelligential effort you do and then leave it to itself. It won't work. We have to follow whatever we have discovered as the truth. Then only it will be called Viveka. It will automatically lead to Vairagya, our freedom. Vairagya means absolute freedom. I always give another example. Suppose a person has lost everything. Not only failed in the exam, but lost everything. Lost his job, lost his property, lost his relatives, maybe earthquake or some other calamity. He is standing on the street and howling and crying, "Oh Lord, why did it happen to me? Why did it happen to me? What shall I do?" and crying and all. Now, introspection, what does introspection tell us? Whatever has happened in the past, can you walk back in time? So should you not accept? If you say that I will not accept, then also you cannot do anything. I am not saying that you should not do anything to further recover from that. That I am not saying. But whatever has happened, can you do anything other than accepting that? It is our foolishness that we are not accepting. And what is happening because of that? We are suffering stress. The mind is stressed. Mind is stressed not because of whatever has happened. Mark my word. Mind is stressed because of the non-readiness of the mind to accept whatever has happened. It is not because of whatever has happened. Parallelly, you think of a sannyasin who has left his job, left his property, left his parents or family and all, and he has walked off on the street, and that was his happiest day. He feels free. He has left everything. Now compare the two cases. What is the difference? In one case, he has deliberately done it. So there is no question of further acceptance. He has deliberately done it. So he is very happy. On the other case, he doesn't want. It has happened. But he is not ready to accept it. So where lies the difference? External situation is the same. Here also, nothing is there for him. Here also, everything is lost for him. It is in his mind that one has deliberately done, so his mind that is very peaceful and subtle and happy, that today I could walk off. All of us have done it. And in the other case, because he is not ready to accept whatever has happened, he is suffering and undergoing the stress. Now come to a further point also. At what kind of a mindset we become most efficient? Can you tell me? Our efficiency will be highest in what kind of a mind? Huh? Calm, peaceful. Peaceful mind. When the mind does not have any agitation, even if you study or work out some mathematics or any problem, if the mind is agitated, you will not be able to. Even the slokas you will not be able to learn if the mind is agitated. It has to be peaceful. So, if he accepts whatever has happened, the mind will become peaceful. So, whatever remedial step to be taken, will he not be able to take it immediately in a much better manner? Otherwise, such scope will come and go. He will not note. He will go on lamenting and crying, but all the opportunities will pass off. Are you able to understand? Similar thing will happen in any case, even about exam and everywhere it will happen. It is the anxiety of our mind, it is the fear of having something or other that unsettles the mind, and our mind is not working in its full efficient level. So we are not able to pass the exam also. If the mind is settled and peaceful, it will be whatever possible for a person. All will not be same. A, B, C, their capabilities, their characteristics will be different. But in a peaceful set of mindset, every A, B, C, all will be having their most efficient level.
Can I ask?
So, what Bhagavad Gita says is not rejecting the objective result. It's a widespread misunderstanding all over most of the translations also. They are not asking us to do anything with the objective world. Everything Bhagavad Gita says is to do work on our own mind, our inner personality. So the result they're talking about is the not to worry about whether I will be successful or I will be failure, whether it has to be done or not. Something has to be done or not, and do with a good intention. If you do not have all those things connected, that by getting I will become rich and I will become happy and all, but it is a need of the society and I would like to be a part of it, spending my own energy and capacity also. I will dedicate my energy to do such a work. If you feel the work is worthy of doing, you do it. You may fail, you may not fail. If you do it properly, generally it will be a success. But sometimes because of some daiva, from some natural calamity or so many other things, it may happen that you fail. But because you have not pinned on the corresponding subjective results that I will become millionaire and then I will become happy, so even if you fail, it will not upset you at all. You will do again with the corrections to be done, and again you will proceed with that. So Bhagavad Gita is not asking us to renounce the objective result. If Bhagavad Gita had asked it, nobody would have asked. It would have been foolish. Nobody does anything without a goal in the objective level of the work. Will anybody do anything? Even Shankaracharya says, who has always talked about karma, to renounce all karmas. He says that prayojanam anuddeshya mandopi na pravartate. So it is all about the inner result that we are thinking of. I am always looking for something gain from that and the favorable result, and with that I am building my castle in the air. All those things are useless. Otherwise we will be focused on the work, and the maximum possible success you will get, which you would not get from any other state of the mind. What did you ask?
Going back a little, Swamiji, I wanted to ask you that some of us who meditate, is it possible that we are getting stuck with the reflected identity, and can that be a very disastrous question, because in place of inclusive, that may be making us more exclusive. In place of finding the unity, it may be making us.
That is not somebody getting stuck, everybody gets stuck there. So you need not worry. Most of the people meditating, they get stuck. They are not able to go to the final level unless they surrendered their effort. See, as I said, that the effort to discover the soul, effort to discover our real identity, as long as the effort is there, this very effort, you analyze it, do the vichara there, do the introspection there. What are you trying to do? Effort is to discover something different from you. Is it not? I want to see the Atma. That means you are not the Atma. So that very effort is making the Atma non-Atma, Anatma. We are objectivizing the subject by that. So it will not be successful until you discover this, that I have to become effortless. How do you become effortless? Simply surrender to the Guru, surrender to the God or Guru, mainly Guru. You surrender all your effort. I don't know where I have to go. Oh Lord, take me. I have expended all my effort, all my intelligence, all my energy. I have not been able to go. Please take me wherever you are. In Ashtavakra it is written that let Brahma be your Guru and Vishnu be your instructor, or the other way, I don't remember the shloka fully. You will not be able to have this ease. Ease means the words level is knowing is ease. Ease, you understand. Absolute comfort. You will not be able to have this ease as long as you are not able to forget the whole world. Forget everything. Whole world means? Tell me, what is most important there? Forgetting my own egoistic identity, I want. So they say that initially you have to renounce everything to become a spiritual seeker. You want only the Supreme, only the ultimate truth, only the Atma, only the Brahman. I want nothing from the world. So reject everything, renounce everything. But finally you have to drop that also. Jena tyajasi tatyaja. By employing which you have renounced everything, you have to renounce that, because that is making you effortful. And that effortfulness will create a objectivization of the subject, if you can say that. So that will delude you, go on deluding you, until you completely surrender your effort. That is why in Patanjali Yoga also they are saying, first is Sukhasanam. You have to sit very comfortably, otherwise the mind will go to the body. Next is Prayatna Shaithilya. Prayatna means effortfulness. Effort. Prayatna means effort. Prayatna Shaithilya means renouncing the effortfulness, becoming easy. This Prayatna Shaithilya means all efforts are gone. So even in Yoga Sutra also it is stated. And in Upanishad it is said, Yada panchavatishtante jnanani manasasaha buddhishtana vicheshtati tamahu paramam gatim. Earlier Buddhi is doing all this vichara means what? Whatever introspection we are doing, it is with the Buddhi, is it not? You do it and empty all the doubts and confusions and everything you Empty everything. Get settled on it. Then that buddhi also is a hindrance. Yada panchavatishtante jnanani manasasaha buddhischana vicheshtati tamahu paramam gatim. That is the supreme state. What? When all the 5 indriyas, jnanendriyas, they are still, means they are not sleeping. They were wakeful, but they are not functioning. They are all sitting still. Like your legs are now not walking, not functioning. But they are not sleeping. They can be activated. Manasasaha, the mind is no more thinking this way, that way, that will I become a realized person or not, will I have this, will I have that. No thought at all. It has become quiescent, absolutely peaceful. Buddhischana vicheshtati, even the intelligence is no more thinking that, have I realized, is this the soul? Is it here or there or in the Kailasha? That buddhi effort also is not there, no effortfulness. Tamahu paramam gatim. That means all the faculties, they are not sleeping, but they are all still. Because in sleep also that state is there. In deep sleep it is that state. But because the faculties are not awake, so you don't come to know. Here it is a state where you would come to know. Because they are all awake, but they are not functioning. So there will be a stamp in the memory of whatever has happened. Do you get your answer? Now, what I wanted to say is that 20 minutes. So, yesterday we did mainly on the vichara or introspection in the meditation process. That I have explained, that finding out the observer, the revealer of everything. So it's an observer of the body, it's an observer of the mind, it is an observer of the intelligence. Then you cannot have the observer of the observer. It has to reveal itself is the ultimate. So you leave all effort when it will reveal itself. So initially, although you are trying to go within, look within. That is, no, not body, not mind, not buddhi. You are going further and further, deeper within. But finally, when you reach that, there is no within or without. It's all consciousness and consciousness alone. You are not knowing that consciousness. The consciousness you have become there. There is nothing, no second at all. So that is why they say that the consciousness is not within the body. Although as a practice we have to look within the body. But when you reach, there is no body, it is inside body, outside. The whole universe is written on it. The universe which contains my body, mind, personality is also written on the consciousness. You float in the consciousness, not float, you become that consciousness. I used to explain this, I used to draw a sketch that suppose there is a hill and there is a cave. You start entering the cave. You are walking in the cave. Suppose the hill is like this. You enter the cave like from here, very high hill. And after walking some time you find a trickle of light coming in from the other side. Small light. Oh, acha. It takes to somewhere outside. Then you start following the light. This is what happens in our meditational process also. Initially there will be some signals or so which you start following. Now you walk following the light, then you assume that you have come to the other surface of the hill. Suddenly you step out. What will happen? Your heart will fail and everything has become light alone. Not only that, then the hill also will become light, you also will become, there is only light and nothing else. That is the difference from the illustration. It happens like that because it's a completely a new kind of experience where you as a subject is not seeing the object. The subject-object division has gone. That is why we say that if you embrace the soul and soul alone and nothing else, then the soul will reveal its truth to you. Nayamatma pravachanena labhyo na medhaya na bahuna shrutena. It cannot be, although we are doing all this as Prakishta Vachana means going into the field, trying to understand, these are all effortfulness. These are necessary but not in the ultimate level. Na medhaya, you might be very brilliant, gold medalist in everything. That medha will not work here. Na bahuna shrutena, you might have listened to the truth from the great saints of the world. May not be one, but 5. You can become a Brahmabandhu, not a knower. Brahmabandhu means who takes pride in their association with a knower. They are Bandhu of the Brahman. If a knower is there, his children, the son and daughter and the other secondary relatives, all will feel proud about it. Provided he is accepted by the world as a knower. I am his grandson. I am the grandson of somebody like that. Or I am his chacha's son. Because they may not have son. I am his chacha's son. So we'll start taking pride in that. Why did I say this? Nayamatma pravachanena labhyo na medhaya na bahuna shrutena. You might have done association with many knowers. Yameva isha vrinute tena labhya tasyaisha atma vivrunute tanum swam. One who has embraced this atma in preference to everything else, to him the atma reveals its own truth. That means I want to become self-realized is also an obstruction. You are still holding on to your egoistic personality. I want. So all these yearning and all, they will be in the initial stage, they are useful, but finally you have to drop one after another everything. So these are all, some are vichara for meditation, to discover our real self, and the others are vichara for how to progress in the interactional life, so that our whole interactional life also becomes sadhana. Fundamentally, what is it? We try to discover ourself going into meditation and samadhi. But in our interactional life, suppose you have experience. Now, what is that self? The self is universal, it doesn't have anything personal and all. So naturally, it should bring in some qualities and characteristics in you. It should bring in some change in you. Now, those changes have to change your interactional life. That is why in Bhagavad Gita, after Krishna has explained the Sthita Prajna Darshan, explained the truth of the soul, of the self, then Arjuna is asking, Sthita Prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadhi kim prabhasheta kim asita vrajeta kim. That means, Krishna, you have explained it very well about the Atma and the truth, and it is called Sankhya Yoga. I have understood perhaps. But I would like to know what happens to a person when he realizes this truth. This is an extremely important point. The truth can be explained, but what we are interested in is when a human being realizes the truth, what are the changes taking place in his life? You get my point? If our Radharani cat realizes the truth, we are not interested in knowing, because they are already realized, they don't have any difference, because they don't have any inquiry, so they are already realized. But we are not interested in a cat. We are interested in a human being when he realizes the truth. How does he behave? How does he sit? How does he speak? That means his interactional life. There must be some change in his interactional life. If he has realized and no change has taken place in his interaction life, it will be questioned. How can it be true? So then the Sthita Prajna Darshana, all the shlokas, they are explaining that what will happen to such a person, how will he speak, how will he react to the situation, how will he interact with the world. That is extremely important. So even a person, why I am saying this? Because many of you may say, well, I had not had the experience of the soul, say, how can I put it into the interaction life? No, you need not. You have known enough about that, you should have the faith in what the Shastras are saying, what the Guru is saying. So you have enough knowledge of what is the soul. Even if the self does not exist, it doesn't matter. You have a concept of the soul, its corresponding characteristics, qualities, parameters, everything you know. Now, for you to incorporate that, what you do is the Sthitaprajya Lakshanani, the person knower, whatever his characteristics are in the behavioral life, in the interactional life, you should start following that. So Sthitaprajya Darshana and many other chapters also, they are saying how a Gunatita behaves, how a Bhakta behaves, Bhakta Lakshana, how a Jnani behaves in 13th chapter. So all these are the qualities of a person who has realized the truth. Now for a person, even if you don't have the self-experience, it doesn't matter. You follow those characteristics in your interactional life. Is it clear? So that will be your vichara during the interactional period, the viveka working in the interaction life. That the Sthitaprajna Darshana, that's Sthitaprajna Lakshanani, that will be your cynosure. You have to follow that. So, by that what is happening? You have perhaps missed. If you have understood and you are going to do that, a great change has occurred. What is that? Your meditative goal of realizing the Atma and interactive goal also becomes realizing the Atma. The whole life gets integrated by that. Whatever your meditational goal is, that becomes your interactional goal also. The sadhana is different. One is the following the characteristics of the soul, another is trying to discover the soul in a placid state, in a quiescent state. So that integrates, makes our whole life, divinizes our whole life. Even a moment is not without sadhana. Everything becomes sadhana. If somebody is abusing you, it is a sadhana for you. He is abusing. What is wrong in it? If it is not true of you, it is his business. Why do you worry about it? Why are you getting agitated and counter-abusing him? There was a question in this, since it has come, I am saying. There is a story I have told so many times. Buddha Deva became very famous. You can understand from history that during Buddha's time, our Indian spirituality was at its low. Because he went from, when he had the enquiry, that what is the meaning of life and all, why there is so much of suffering, it is said that he moved from ashram to ashram. Nobody could satisfy him. And not only that, it is reported that in all the ashrams there was animal sacrifice and all those were going. So Tantrika Charcha was at its height. Knowledge had become almost invisible or so. At least in the eastern part of India we can say. Even western also, Buddhism finally flourished all over outside India, this way, that way, east and west. So there also must have been at its web. So finally he said that nothing doing until ihasane shushyatu me shariram. There is a shloka that I am sitting under this ashwatha tree. Either I will know the truth or my body will get perished by sitting here. I am not going to get up till I have discovered the truth. This kind of determination, I would like to chant the shloka, I have forgotten. That let the body get completely dried without food, without water. I am not going to get up until I get the bodhi, that awareness of the truth. And he got his awareness or experience, whatever he had. Now this was the time when Buddha's period. So when he became famous, you will find that when Buddha was moving from here to there, all the people were there to donate him land, to you put an ashram here, put an ashram there, that Jetavana and all those He had the whole eastern India. During his time it was Bihar, Bengal, Orissa, those areas. Later on it was propagated. During Ashoka's time it flourished in other areas also. So everywhere people were contributing. So we can understand that he became famous. And he became so famous that the tantrikas who were ruling the roost at that time, they got very envious of him. Just like Shankaracharya also, that tantrikas wanted to kill him. Came as that Nrisimha Avatara and all those, that Padmapada saved him. You don't know that? Shankaracharya's also similar story is there. So, one day he was sitting under a tree when a tantrika came, the leader of the tantrikas, they came and he was abusing Buddha right and left. You don't know anything, you are a fool and you are doing this, doing that. All untruth and nonsense, he was abusing him. Buddha remained quiet. Now if somebody abuses and the other person does not react, what will happen to the abusing person? All the more even in husband-wife relationship it is very true. Is it not? You have to react. If your partner is shouting at you, at least some way you should react. If you even reactionless, then the other person will get all the more agitated. So he got very agitated. He said that I am talking to you for such a long time. You don't consider me a human being. You have not replied anything. You are not speaking a word to me at all. Then Buddha came out with this shloka, which is also regarded as Bhartrihari's. But this is there in the Buddha story also. But the shlokas are Subhashitam also. Exactly we don't know. It is appearing in Bhartrihari's Vairagya Shatakam also. Dadatu dadatu galihi galimanto bhavanto vayamapi tadabhavat galidane asamarthaha jagati viditametad diyate vidyamanaha natu shashaka vishanam kopi kasmai dadati. He says dadatu dadatu galihi galimanto bhavanto vayamapi tadabhavat galidane asamarthaha. He says, you are giving me gali, go on giving me gali, because in this world, what can a person give? Whatever he has, he can give. If you go to a rich person, he can give you money. If you go to a knower, he can give you knowledge. Whatever a person has stock of, he can give that only. So you have only the stock of gali, so you go on giving me gali. Gali means abuses. You go on giving me gali. I don't have any gali in my stock. How can I give you back anything? I cannot give because I don't have it. Then he is saying that in this world, whatever is there for a person he can give. Nobody can ever give a rabbit with two horns, because rabbits do not have horn. Now this is the shloka, but what I want to take your focus to is that this is, how can a person say like this? This is the important point, that this is the point of introspection. How could Buddha say like that and not give any return? He could have, all of you think yourself, if somebody tells you, you will immediately say, no, it is not true of me, I did not do this, I did not do that. You are just like that saying, you have all those problems, I don't have, and finally you end up in a quarrel, anything like that. Now, a person remaining absolutely quiet, listening to all the abusive words and maligning words, because they are not true of me. If they are not true of me, then why should I bother? It is his business. Now, how a person is getting this impersonality? This is the quality of the soul. Impersonality is a quality of the soul. Impersonality means you are not clinging to your own egoistic personality, that I am this, I am that, I have this quality, I am not this, I am not that. Nothing like that. Let people say whatever they say. If there is some correction given in it, I will rather thank him, prostrate before him that you have shown me a fault I have, I will correct. If it is not there, it's all useless, then why should I say anything? So this is an impersonal dimension which we have to cultivate in our everyday life. By that, what is happening? I am coming closer and closer to the soul. What is the soul? It does not get affected by anything, does not get tarnished, tainted by anything. The whole universe is having so much of display of birth and death and change. Nothing affects the soul, the Brahman, the consciousness at all. It remains just a revealer, sakshi we say, just a knower of whatever is happening. So more and more we develop this kind of unaffectedness, impersonality, impartiality. Are we not coming closer and closer to the soul? So in our interactional life also cultivating this impersonality, impartiality, unaffectedness, all-embracingness, love towards everybody, we are actually becoming soul, becoming the self, becoming the Atma in our interactional life also. I wanted to say some more, that tomorrow we will do time is. There are two more shlokas which are still a little advanced than this. They are from Subhashitam. In the shloka I will tell tomorrow, he is saying that if by speaking abuses about me or maligning me, if somebody is happy, I will also be happy. Because in this world, it is very difficult to make anybody happy. Spending all our money also, we cannot make even the partner happy. Such is the world, where it is very difficult to make anybody else happy. Now here I have not done anything. Just by maligning me, blaming me or abusing me, the person has become happy. So should I not become all the more happy that without doing anything I have made somebody happy? That is another shloka. There is another also. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu
Sahano bhunaktu
Sahaviryam Karavavahai
Sahaviryam karavavahai
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
Ma vidvishavahai
Ma vidvishavahai
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti